Welcome to Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. We are a podcast focused on benefit auctions and fundraising events for the nonprofit community. We are a group of fundraising professionals that specialize in raising funds to improve communities of all sizes. This is episode number 35. Here we are. We are going into Thanksgiving.
And we are thankful.
Very thankful. We are thankful that pumpkin pie is coming back into our lives because we're going to establish the fact that nobody really likes pumpkin pie.
Not
they
true.
like
He's
whipped cream
a liar.
more than they like pumpkin pie.
I'm with you there, Shelb.
Yeah.
8 pounds of whipped cream to a little slice of pie. Then I might eat it.
Boom. Yeah.
And you guys like my pumpkin cake? My pumpkin bars?
And welcome to the episode, folks. We're so happy that you're here.
So what is your guys' problem?
She's got us there, Shelb.
Eat the cake.
She's got us there. She's got
Jeez.
I'm Shelby Stokes.
I'm Kelly Schenfeld.
Hey, Paulie Schenfeld here. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us. Episode 35.
That's right.
It's going to be
episode
short and sweet
35.
today a little
It is going to
bit,
be short and sweet.
'cause it's Thanksgiving
In fact, we should
weekend.
probably look at a clock and kind of see what's going on. We had a couple of shows.
And as the float's going by, we just, if we have to...
Yeah.
Hi, oh look,
That's
there's
right.
Superman.
Is it Macy's Day? No,
Yes.
that's Christmas,
No,
right?
yes, it is. Oh, man.
Isn't Macy's Day's
Thanksgiving Day
parade?
Pumpkin and Macy's Day Parade is shocking that you don't know these
Is it
staples.
Macy's Day Christmas?
Yes, no.
No?
Yes,
No.
Yes, no, she said.
Yes, no.
No, Macy's Day is Thanksgiving.
There's a Christmas parade?
It's the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. My God.
Quintessential parade of
I've-
the ages.
Yeah.
It
I've
is
learned
essential to get us
not
going.
to correct you on Macy anything.
Nothing, one day sales every day of the year. So,
Sunday only at the big song.
anyway, super thankful.
Yeah, thankful. So we did have a couple of shows this last weekend. Like we said, we're kind of coming into Thanksgiving. It's been a wonderful fall season, and we are now entering what I call winter. So we're going to see some Christmas tree auctions pop off here in the near future. We mentioned a little bit about it last week, but now is like the marker to where we launch into Christmas tree events. And Kelly had one this last weekend that was Christmas tree focused, and it was a doozy. So we'll talk about that one in a second. But I'm going to hop into my weekend first.
Real quick, I'd like to clarify.
Okay.
Is it so you designated the winter dates? That's not a calendar thing. You personally,
Yes.
much like the pie.
Well,
You see what's happening over
I
here?
saw what he did. I thought it segued very nice, actually.
Yeah, it did, but he's still trying to take credit for snow and
calendar.
winter. The calendar.
Yeah.
Shelby Stokes did not write the calendar, ladies
Well,
and gentlemen.
I did not write the calendar. I've been pretty familiar with the calendar.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, calendars are great. I was at a event with a number of indigenous people and Native American tribes and groups that kind of came together to help with scholarships of individuals in their community. And it was so neat. Like, I can't tell you how enthralled, intrigued, impressed I am with, like, the beauty of the Native American culture.
Oh, it's incredible.
And just
Yeah, it
to listen to them sing and tell stories, and even down to the prayers and the hand gestures, like, it is just a wonderfully beautiful culture.
It is. It's thousands of years old. You know,
I was
so
just going to say there's a lot of history there.
yeah. So it's not for. I mean, here we come in and we're whopping 78 years old.
Somewhere around in
Right
there.
in there. Still got a little milk around our mouth as a country.
Yeah.
But, even the people,
Yeah.
we don't really have culture.
No, we don't. And it's funny because, my
agree with
grandparents, we don't have culture?
We don't really
I
have
think
a
we are
certain
in-
culture.
This country is an experiment in multiculturalism, is what I believe.
There you go. Ooh, well said.
Yeah.
Very well said.
I will say as a younger man, like, my grandparents collected, paintings, and they were auction people, right? So they saw, like, some of this very beautiful artwork and Native American garb come through, and they started collecting it. And as a younger man, it was there. I never really appreciated it, but looking back on it, man, just the colors and everything that comes with that history is just amazing. Like, I was blown away. I was blown away, and I feel lucky to have experienced it. But it was neat to also see a number of individuals from across our area come together and try to accomplish something for the youth or those that are disenfranchised and trying to gain skills to reacclimate to the community, right? We're talking people from the eastern side of the state, the southern eastern side of the state, and obviously the western side as well. So it was really neat to see everybody come together and a great celebration of life and experience and stuff of that nature. So I enjoyed it greatly.
That's very cool.
And it's very impressive how all of those tribes work in concert with each other.
Agreed.
And they're totally different.
And they're all different, but they can take their differences and come together in that environment for a successful mission.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Mechanically, we had some issues, just like people not bringing laptops, but having the setup for laptops, stuff like that. There was a lot of just like little itty bitty overlooks here and there, but it's all good. We're coming back to normal, and it felt a little on our heels at times, but we had fun. It was a good time.
Controlled chaos.
You had probably one of the best tree auctions I've heard about ever.
Historically.
Yeah,
It's got to be a record.
it's got to be.
I think
It's got to be, doesn't it?
it's got to be.
For
It
one tree?
was, for one tree. It was, had nothing to do with the tree, and that was the beauty of it. It was incredible. We are finally waking up to mental illness being an issue in our communities, and it's a big stigma, and that's what sucks, is that there's this huge stigma around there for people that want to say they need help. They're afraid to, right? So they go to the emergency rooms when the things go sideways, and I was so proud of this group for taking on mental illness. And teen suicide is a big, big thing, and we have to shatter that. And this tree that a stepmother put together for her daughter that had taken her life at 16 years old, it was incredible. This tree sold for $371,000.
Wow.
And it was just redonated and redonated and redonated and redonated. So what that group of people was saying is, we believe, we believe, we believe.
And we want to help.
We want to help, and we're thankful.
$50,000
Yes.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I don't know, and Mark and I have been a part of some electric things. This one, literally, we were holding on to the reins and just kind of going, okay, the horse is going this way now. Oh, back over here. It was
Wow.
that crazy. Mark was totally out of control and in complete control. And the crowd was totally out of control and in complete control. I, on the other hand, am failing miserably because I can't see because my mascara is now stuck to.
Oh, no.
It was that beautiful. It was that beautiful. And these parents were just grateful and sobbing. And I'm just super, and going into this Thanksgiving season, for me personally, or even around the holidays, for me personally, I have always believed that mental illness was the main bottom line problem for your homelessness, your suicide, your depression. All those are all mental illnesses. And why? Why are we so afraid to say, I have a problem? It's the stigmas. It's the social media. And I'm not a box, but it's incredible what can cause that. So open your minds and open your ears and look around in your community and be thankful, like my husband and I are, and understand that it's out there, it's growing, and bring light to it.
Well, and it's even more significant now that we've been through a pandemic,
Yeah.
because essentially what has
Incredible.
happened is all the interconnectivity and socialization that happened that we were sequestered from for so long, people are just living their lives without fulfilling those cups or filling those cups. And it's not sustainable. Like, you need to be able to connect, and there's a human element that brings a mental health, or can help bring a mental health. I'm not saying that's the one issue with it, but I agree that there is some sort of stigma that we must overcome in our
There
society.
is.
And it's more threatening now than it's ever been, in my opinion.
And I think that you got to incorporate that somehow in your galas, even if you're not doing it about that. You've got to incorporate that that's happening around us, and have something in your silent auction, or have a portion of your raffle that goes to that. It was mind-blowing, mind-numbing, sad, beautiful. I'd never been a part of anything like that before, neither had Mark. I tell you what, it was incredible.
Yeah, it sounds like it really was. Like,
It
it's one of
was.
those moments that you'll look back on, in years to come and still remember it so fondly.
Yeah, I mean,
And
my throat gets tight talking about it right now.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
It's events like this that I think are going to break that stigma.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take time.
It
These
is.
things take time.
And it's my generation and my parents' generation that has always talked about the stigma. It's your generation that
Going,
is saying no more. Not happening on my watch.
We're talking
And-
about our feelings, sometimes too
yeah,
much.
sometimes too much.
And that's
but-
okay.
Yeah.
Better
but-
too much than not at all, I say.
I'm just saying, I'm grateful for my grandchildren being able to change that, and for
Yeah.
them, it's different. So not to be heavy on a beautiful
On
Thanksgiving
a
week,
beautiful
but
Thanksgiving week. But, I know we're coming at us
thankful.
some heavy things, and there's heavy things happening right now. I know that we're all experiencing, our parents and grandparents kind of getting older and aging out, and with that brings weight, you know what I mean? And with these different communities kind of coming together, that brings weight. But ultimately, what we have to remember is we are now celebrating Thanksgiving, and the reason it's one of my favorite holidays is not because I get to eat all the pumpkin pie, because nobody likes pumpkin pie. It's
pumpkin
about
pudding in a crust, apparently.
it's about like opening your eyes, looking around, and being thankful for the moments and the people that are around you. And we hope that that is something that we can imbue or instill into you, the listener, or the viewer, or even the community, because that has really been what's got us through. We're coming to the end of a very busy time in our lives, us personally in terms of business and a lot of inner workings, and it's been stressful, it's been a pull, but at the end of the day, like, we have to remember that we are thankful for the opportunity to serve these communities. We understand for us to be compensated to stand in front of people and hold a microphone is a little ridiculous to some and potentially many. But at the end of the day, we're thankful for the opportunity to do what we do and also sustain our livelihoods doing this. Because bringing people together and being grateful in the opportunities we have is really where the fulfillment comes, in my opinion.
And there's no way we would have sold that tree for $371,000 if there was not an auctioneer in the room. That is a fact. Because they know what to do with it, and the ringman knows what to do with it, and they know how to move it, and they know how to.
Good point.
They see what's going on. That tree would have sold for $50,000, and on the way it went, and it still would have been a highlight of the night. But instead, they're come over here,
Yeah.
come over here, come over here.
And you said something that resonated with me, and something we actually discussed as a team this morning, is you said, Mark was completely out of control and in control the entire time.
He was literally hanging on.
And that has been like the fall in general.
Yeah.
Like the event that I was in, I basically had 30 items scheduled. I had multiple tribe leaders within the room from different tribes, and they said, sell this, sell that. Before you know it, we were at 45 items. But what I'm getting at is, like, we're thankful for the opportunity, and we understand that these events are going to ebb and flow, and being flexible enough to ride that wave is really essential. Which brings me to what I mentioned this morning, in that we're getting some calls for individuals because their presenters or their auctioneers, not within our group, are being a little bit
Prima donna.
stringent, saying we want this to happen, this to happen, this to happen. We want to have control of this, that, and the other. And I think what we have to remember is it's going to be chaos. Hopefully it's controlled chaos, and we're going to do our best to be flexible with what's happening in that room and grateful for the opportunity to be there.
Yeah, and the skill and knowledge that comes with navigating a room like that is
Yeah.
where the years of experience that you guys have
Absolutely.
comes into play.
Oh,
Right, and that's never been our style. It's never been part of our mission as a company, was to completely take over and change your event into the way we view it should be. We respect your vision and always try to reach that goal that you have established without coming in there and shaking everything up and changing things up to such a degree that it doesn't even look remotely like you want it to.
Yeah.
And that's something that we take a lot of pride in.
Yeah.
I want to make one real quick comment. So they did a raffle tree that was incredible, and we have in studio
We have
guests
in-studio
today,
guests.
so you may hear them.
We have a
They're-
couple of little ones.
They're very, very small.
Very small.
Very full of chocolate. But they did these lanterns, and they had a tree, a metal tree, that they put all these lanterns on, And you paid $25, you got the lantern, there was a ticket on there, and they took the bottom half of the ticket, tossed it in a bucket, and put the lantern back on. Towards the end of the night, they put the little lantern in bags, and they were waiting at checkout for the person to remember the auction buy. It was a beautiful, beautiful little lantern with a tea light in it that they could hang in their tree. And I think sometimes for us to remember that our guests want to remember an event, 60 days after the event, they're done talking about it. But if there's something that you can provide for them that is constantly in their house, like a little lantern like that wouldn't have to go on a tree. I personally would have put it up on a cupboard, and people say, that is the cutest lantern. Where'd you get that? Boom, the story comes to life again. So think about that when you're doing your gifts or your raffles. It was incredible, you guys. It's $25. It was insane.
That keepsake will be around for a while.
Forever. You'll talk about it forever, and you'll bring up mental illness forever.
Yeah.
And you'll bring up her daughter forever, It's incredible.
Yeah.
So,
It's a great idea.
yeah.
It really is. And essentially, what you're getting at is, the message that was conveyed was powerful and carried in multiple ways, right? I mean, they're basically allowing gifts to go home with something that'll be memorable. They obviously had a very memorable experience with the tree. And, so much can get caught up in the mechanics of the situation. And sometimes you just have to roll with it and be flexible. Another thing that's been happening at some of these events is we've been getting calls based on the bid cards that we provide to some organizations. They're basically calling in and saying, hey, where's my receipt for an item? And we're like, well, we just kind of helped with the bid cards. So what we're getting at is, please give your guests a platform to communicate with you on the way out the door. With that guest leaving with an item, maybe it's, hey, feel free to contact us on the
Could be a little
website or
thank
give
you
us
card.
a call or a thank you. Give them a path to communicate.
Great idea, Shelby.
Contact, email,
Yeah, it's a
website.
great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that, because they're reaching out to us thinking
Yeah.
that that's us,
Yeah.
right.
that we're going to answer those questions.
And we're passing them on. I mean, we're going to pass on the
Ah,
communications.
interesting, right?
But I think the reason that we're getting those calls is because there's not another pathway for someone to contact the organization. Therefore, they see a website and they're like, okay, we're going to go here because this is all we have. So however you're going to continue that conversation and connectivity piece with your guests at the event, give that some thought if you can. Even if it is just like an email the next day.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being here. We did some amazing things.
Wow, interesting.
Don't
right?
get your shingles shot the week of Thanksgiving. That's dumb.
You got your shingle shot.
You're dumb if you get your shingles shot on Thanksgiving.
Which, I mean, shingles is still a thing, guys. I thought it was.
Only
I thought
for
it was in
old.
the past.
Only for those that are long in the tooth, and my teeth are this long right now.
Is that right? You're feeling a little
When are
punky.
you getting
Well,
yours?
I have a different situation that I can explain to you a little later. But
oh, okay, all right. Someone didn't click yes on the privacy policy, did they? Okay.
He is
Well,
special.
I am very thankful that I do not have shingles, ladies and gentlemen. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for you guys. You know what? We started this podcast. Yeah, we started this podcast. God, when did we start it?
35,
11 months ago.
35 episodes
Yeah,
ago.
and so that's a lot, right? And whether we have viewers watching or not, it's healthy for us. And you reach a point in your lifetime where doing what's healthy for you will spill out into other people. And I'm a better person doing this podcast with you guys, even if we only have 10 people watch. It doesn't matter to me. That's not why we do it. I would love you guys to watch, but we do it for us.
We do.
We do it for
I'm
us.
very thankful for that, for the same thing. And also thankful for the fact that this keeps the auction industry fresh in our minds, and we can always throw ideas around every week.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
we can come up with new ideas, and people will get on our Q&A, and they'll say, hey, how about this? And we're like, wow, I never thought about that. You keep the dialogue open, as you mentioned earlier regarding mental health. You keep the dialogue open, and it's going to be beneficial for everybody in every aspect of our community. That's what I believe.
Their show is over. That's a problem.
They're like, this is
Dad, it's
we're
over!
supposed to put
Dad!
it on.
Sorry. They're over
Play
here.
the next episode
Dad!
immediately.
We have them on a laptop, and my daughter is literally just tapping the screen like it should be a touch screen. So if you want to see a generation gap, it just happened right there.
Right there.
Yeah, in terms of thankfulness, I think it would be remiss if we didn't say thank you to you, the listener. I think kind of wrapping back around before we got sidetracked on the little ones. I think my favorite part of doing this and kind of throwing this content into the void is that we're constantly trying to keep our North Star in the right spot.
Yeah.
In other words, like we're trying to make the world a better place. And so often you can get into this environment. We brought it up earlier in this podcast with auctioneers kind of coming in and saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And to me, that's very ego-driven, right? And I think we constantly need to be reminded and humbled that we are just one piece in a very big, massive world and community. And if we keep in mind where we want to go as a community, everything will fall into place.
Yeah,
beside
look at it like a Christmas
So-
gift. You did nothing to put the gift together. All you are is the auctioneers unwrapping it for the
That's right.
crowd.
Yeah.
So you did nothing to put it together, except you're going to unwrap it for
Yeah,
them.
and I'm thankful for that perspective that I think
Yeah.
we've gained. I know I've gained from this podcast and kind of put it into the can every
Oh,
year.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
yeah.
Not to mention how fun it's been.
It's been so much
I mean,
fun.
really.
I'm
A lot
especially.
of good material.
We are willing our way through it today,
Good
guys. It's a
material
rainy
we come
day.
up with.
This one's got a shot. It's
Yes.
all good, and we are thankful, and we would be remiss if we didn't say it once again. We appreciate you being with us and listening to us, either on your headphones, on Facebook, or within the YouTube app where we do a video podcast. Spotify has it on video, too, if you want to go there. If you'd like to subscribe and like, you can definitely do that. But thank you so much for spending this hour, half hour, whatever it's been with us, and be well.
Yeah, and don't forget that they might have the Christmas parade early and have it on Thanksgiving for Macy's Day.
Okay, here's where that
So
comes
I'm just
from.
gonna say-
Here's where that comes from. I figured it out because Thanksgiving parade always has Santa in it, right?
Because yes, but oh Lord,
And don't they always have the Nutcracker dancers there as well?
they have all of it,
So
Shelby.
there's
It's our
more-
launch into Christmas.
So there's more Christmas there than Thanksgiving.
It's still Thanksgiving.
Jury's out on this one. We're gonna put a poll
Well,
out.
look at those nutcrackers.
Look at those. My, that's a really pretty nutcracker you have. Wow.
Oh.
Go out,
you
be courageous, you guys.
And you know what? Be kind.
Hey, and go do some good. We appreciate you. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you. Be well. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your
Happy
turkey.
Thanksgiving.
Boycott the pumpkin pie with me, please.
Don't do it. It's worth it. And it's not pudding.
Whipped cream all day,
It
baby.
is not pudding.
It's pudding. You want to wave goodbye?
You want to wave goodbye to the peeps?
Say bye-bye.
Say I'm out. Go like this. Go, I'm out.
I'm out.
Say see you later.
See you later.
There we go.